What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the video. I got a question for you. Is your bank stealing from you? Now, this is a very important question. You know, with the Federal Reserve raising interest rates at such an alarming rate, banks collapsing left and right, it is important to make sure that our money is safe. But even more important than that is to make sure that our money is making as much money for us as possible in light of the highest levels of inflation. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys the 6 best high yield bank accounts in 2023 that I found so far. And I'm going to be updating these lists as I find more banks and credit unions that fit the criteria of what I would define as being one of the best. And by the best, I mean, we're talking about number one, banks being federally insured by the FDIC. That's very, very important. Credit unions that are federally insured by the NCUA, which is the Credit Union Association. So without further ado, let's get into the best high yields savings bank accounts for 2023, or actually the best high yield bank accounts, because in the future, we may actually have checking accounts that may outpay in terms of interest rates compared to savings accounts. Also, I want to also make sure that we're not getting ourselves into bank accounts that have exorbitantly high fees or anything like that. So that is very important. And we're going to take all of these things into account when I discuss the best high yield bank accounts in 2023. All right. So first off, we're going to talk about Digital Federal Credit Union Savings. Okay. So this is a credit union. Also, it is federally insured NCUA. And the Digital Federal Credit Union Savings Bank account Digital Federal Credit Union Savings Account is an interest rate of 6.16% for the first $1,000. And then it's 0.15% for amounts over $1,000. So if you're brand new to investing and you're building your savings account, you're building your emergency fund, I think that you might want to consider Digital Federal Credit Unions for savings, because for the first $1,000, they're going to pay out 6.17%, at least at the time of the recording of this video. And this is ideal for younger individuals with limited savings. There's no fees associated with this particular type of credit union savings account. And basically, the membership requirements are listed on their website. And they're pretty easy to meet, so that's pretty cool. Next up on the list, we got SoFi Bank. Now, SoFi Bank, their interest rate is 3.75% and 2.5% for their savings bank account at the time of this recording. This requires a monthly direct deposit, but there's no minimum amount. So even if you're just working a part-time job, if you have your direct deposit going into this account, you'll satisfy the requirements to get that really high interest rate of 3.75%. Again, that is SoFi Bank. And additional features such as you can have a separate savings vault and financial insights, which are offered by having a bank account or having that particular type of bank account with SoFi Bank. So this is actually a very high interest rate, even given this time. They offer a sign-up bonus and various other financial services that you should be aware of. So let's talk about some banks that are high yield bank accounts in 2023 with no requirements. So let's talk about Wealthfront. So Wealthfront cash account, right? Interest rate, get this, guys, 4.05%. And if Fed Chair Jerome Powell continues to raise interest rates, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Wealthfront interest rate increase from this point and go north. The money market account, or rather the money account managed across multiple banks for their higher FDIC coverage, which is very, very good, right? So Wealthfront is one of the banks that actually offers above and beyond the standard $250,000 FDIC coverage. So keep an eye out on these. That's that makes me feel, that gives me the warm and fuzzies dealing with banks and financial institutions, credit unions of that nature, offering high yield bank accounts, but also matching it with high FDIC coverage. So this one offers a debit card and, of course, access to ATMs. There's no minimum deposit requirement and there's no fees. So take note of this one. This is the Wealthfront cash account. Next up on the list, we got Ally Bank. And I'm pretty sure most of you guys have heard of Ally Bank. So their interest rate right now in 2023 is 3.4% for their savings bank account. Ally Bank is also offering 0.25% for their checking account. So, at least they're paying something for checking accounts. Most banks don't pay you anything. So Ally Bank's interest rate is 3.4% for their savings bank account. There's no fees. There's no direct deposit requirements. And they got features like savings buckets, loans, and zero commission trading if you guys are interested in investing. And they also reimburse up to $10 a month on ATM fees. So let's say you're traveling and you just so happen to need cash from the ATM. You need to pull cash out of your bank account. You could literally hit up pretty much any old ATM. And even if it's not within the Ally Bank network, they will reimburse you up to $10 per month in the ATM fees. So that's pretty cool. I usually don't need to pull cash out of my bank account too often. So me personally, not a big deal, but it is good to know that I'm not going to get taken advantage of if I happen to use a ATM that's outside of network and get hit over the head in terms of ATM fees. Next up on the list, we got UFB Direct. So they're offering an interest rate on their savings bank account of 4.55%. Guys, that's almost 5%. 4.55% from UFB Direct. There's no requirements. There's no minimum balance or transactions on this particular savings bank account. And their services are offered by their parent bank, which is called Axos. They're offering, they offer bill payments, check deposits, and ATM card access. Might want to look into that one. So that's UFB Bank. Now, I'm not affiliated by any of these banks. I'm not being paid from any of these banks. Just wanted to share some information with you guys. We talked about this a lot over the last several days, how to prepare ourselves. And I personally feel like if you're going to have an emergency fund, if you got to put cash in the bank, you might as well get the most from it. So I'm looking for FDIC insured if I'm dealing with a bank, and I want the highest yield on my savings account regardless, period and point blank. Why would I settle for less if there's a better option out there? And it doesn't matter if it's a savings bank, if it's a credit union. If the credit union is NCUA, federally insured by the National Credit Union Association, and it's got a high interest rate, let's look into them. So again, this is the UFB Direct bank. So the next up on the list is Primus Bank, right? So Primus Bank is offering an interest rate of 4.35% for both their savings bank accounts and their checking accounts. No minimum requirements, no minimum balance or transactions, and the physical branches in Virginia and Maryland, they offer additional benefits. Now, it also covers ATM fees, and they offer free checks and notary services. So notary services can get expensive. So anytime I can get free notary services, maybe I need a contract to be notarized as I'm signing it in front of the notary. Maybe I need to, maybe I'm closing on a house and I need to sign some documents and send them in before I can be approved for my mortgage. Having access to free notary services definitely lowers your expenses. So, so basically, and we've seen the banks collapse, 3-4 banks here in the United States. So my intent is to make sure that my money is as safe as possible. So what I like to do is I like to get income. I like to have savings bank and checking account diversification. I told you guys, I will never just have one bank account. It's just why, I like to have a relationship with multiple different banks and credit unions because there's a ton of different benefits. So just to kind of recap, so we covered we covered 6 of the highest savings bank accounts in 2023. And these savings accounts that I found, they're with FDIC insured banks and as well as NCUA insured, federally insured credit unions as well. So these are the 6 highest savings bank accounts that I found for 2023. And I'm going to release some future videos if I find better ones, higher interest rates, or if any of these banks update their savings bank interest rates to a higher amount, I will definitely let you guys know. So number 1, we covered Digital Federal Credit Union Savings Account, SoFi Bank. We covered Wealthfront Cash Account. In fact, let me just recap the interest rates as well. So we had Digital Federal Credit Union Savings Account. They're at 6.17% for the first $1,000 that you put in there. SoFi, their interest rate was 3.75%. So that's SoFi Bank at 3.75%. You got Wealthfront Cash Account sitting at 4.05%. You got Ally Bank. Their interest rate is 3.4% for savings and 0.25% for checking. You got UFB Direct. Their interest rate is 4.55%. And you've got Primus Bank. Their interest rate is sitting at 4.35% for both their savings and their checking account. So I really hope that you guys got some value out of this video. If you guys are stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to the channel and also smash the like button for your boy. I totally would appreciate that. Let me know if this video was helpful for you. And if you really want to support the channel, share this video with everyone you know. Appreciate you guys. You guys be safe and good luck toward achieving your financial freedom.